Hello, and welcome to another Secrets of Onpage with me, Josh Bachynski. Today we're going to be Google busting. We're busting the Googles today. And as I mentioned before, today we're going to be looking at our on-page methods. A lot of secrets there I'll give out that are going to drastically help your game, improve your game. Not only that, but also we've had some recent interesting results in the Google AI overview. If you're not sure what that is, I'll be showing it to you, but it is kind of the new hot thing where Google has an AI kind of generative response at the top. And we want to be able to rank in there and actually have Google recommending our sites. It's like it's a dream come true. It's like Google is a concierge for everybody in the world, or a friend, everyone's best friend in the world. And they're going to type in, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? And it's going to say, oh, you need to go to these guys, or you need to go to these guys. It's recommending you right at the very top. The CTR rate, the click-through rate is just insane, or is going to be when you get yourself in there, especially if Google does an extra little modification that I saw them doing recently, which I'm going to show you today, putting links up in the AI overview anyway. So as mentioned, there's a private group here that's going to get an Ask Me Anything at the end. If you want to make sure you get into the Ask Me Anything, you need to go here. Let's make sure I'm broadcasting on the YouTubes. Is there noise coming out of this thing? Is there noise? Yes, there's noise. Yay. Okay, so you need to go to SEOcopilotai.com. You need to go to resources and click on for the free on-page SEO Copilot training. It's the same course. It's the piece of software I'll be using today to show you how that we got these things. We use AI to get these things. We don't do it by hand because you can't. You can't be competitive and do SEO by hand anymore. Not in 99% of niches. And I'm going to, but the good news is we have AI that works and we have AI that can do it for you, and you don't have to do it all by hand anymore. That's a good thing, right? That's something you should be going, oh, thank God. Oh, hallelujah. You should be singing hallelujah. The happy one, not the depressing Leonard Cohen one. I heard there was a secret chord, that one. You shouldn't be singing that one. That one's depressing. I mean, you can if you want, but not when it comes to, we have AI now to do all the work for us. That's a good thing. And so you should be going hallelujah in the happy way, in the Whoopi Goldberg Sister Act way. Okay, so so let me get to today. Then we're going to talk about. So if you have any questions, please ask them wherever you're watching. Ask the questions. I will answer them. And if you have private questions, you can make them private in the Zoom chat. And the Ask Me Anything I'll do at the end. I'll also give the gifts away at the end. So make sure you watch all the way to the end. I'll give away the gifts. I'll give it to the Zoom people first, and then I'll give you guys access to whatever remainder is left after that. And so I think that's all the proviso. I believe that's all the proviso I need to do. Okay, so let's get to it. So what is the AI overview? What is OnPage? In 2025, we use a lot of artificial intelligence to generate content. Everything is artificial intelligence in 2025 and beyond. And it's just going to get more AI based. There's multiple ways to rank in the AI overview. Now, you're like, okay, fine. What is the AI overview? For those people that don't know, the AI overview is this thing here. So no, that's Perplexity. This is the AI overview. And these are some of the wins we've gotten here. So this is the AI overview. And the thing is, you want to be listed not only #1 ranking, as we're getting here, and you want to be listed not only #1 in the secondary list that they give to the AI. So it's interesting, right? It's not just necessarily the #1 rankings that are normal. It's another separate list that they have here, which is interesting. And you want to be #1 here or on the top 3 anyway. And you don't have to, the interesting thing is you don't have to be #1 here, that, though we are, and we got this, but you don't have to be #1 here per se to get #1 here, which is interesting. So there's a different kind of rating system. There's a different kind of quality system that Google is using. And it is all about spam and quality. It's all about the styling of your writing. It's all about how useful your writing is. Also, very recently, I don't know if you noticed, John Mueller just was presenting at a conference, and they're adding in for their few remaining quality raters that they have that are humans working for them, which is just like a very few. And they train the AI off of this directly. Is low quality AI content has been mentioned. Low quality AI content. Now, we already knew that low quality AI content from as early as last year. We've known for that long that it definitely is a deranking factor. And luckily our software SEO Copilot, which you're seeing here, which I'll show you also a new feature in it. You're seeing here. Hello there, Trey. How you doing? You can keep your camera on or turn it off. Your choice. Doesn't matter to me. As long as you keep all your clothes on. That's the rule. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So we've known for a year that low quality AI content definitely is a bad ranking factor for sure. But as long as you're maintaining high quality in your content, Google really doesn't care what you use to generate it. And remember, Google is trying to get into this market of having their AI content, their AI generator generate content as well. They don't want to be left out of this generative AI war. So it's not just because what some people say, just because it's AI, that means that it's bad, or that means that just because it's AI, that means that it's necessarily low quality. There are some AI agents that can generate high quality content, but nothing off the shelf. There's nothing off the shelf that will generate high quality AI content, including the other tools that we typically talk about. Sorry, I'm just looking for something here. There is no kind of, that's what I'm looking for. Here we go. There's no kind of general off-the-shelf tool, except for SEO Copilot that we know of, that is generating specifically. I mean, this is a broad statement across the board. If you're trying to generate content for any kind of niche, unless it's like so generic, I mean, there's no way to produce high quality content out of ChatGPT unless you do something special with it. And there's no way to produce high quality content out of all the other AIs unless you do a lot of work with it and do something special with it. And there's no off the shelf option there either, really. So, but luckily we've built an AI agent to do the SEO on page, and that's SEO Copilot. So that's what I'll be showing you today. And that's how we got all these rankings. All these rankings that you're seeing here, not only the kitchen reno stuff here, not only this stuff here, but also this AI overview here, which is the one I shared part of that before. So here's the actual search. It was there for a short period and then dropped, and I'll tell you why that is. And here we actually got the AI recommending us, our particular client, along with a whole bunch of huge companies. These are big, huge companies, and this is a tiny company. But and you see, we're not even ranking number one. But by doing this, we were able to do these tactics I'm going to show you today. We were able to, for a brief time, get our tiny company that has no business being in the AI overview into the AI overview, and getting Google to recommend it. And not only recommend it, getting Google to recommend it first above all those other ones there. And it's also in the companies to consider as well. So it's very exciting times. It's very interesting times. Another way of thinking, Craig says, taking the new haircut. Thanks, buddy. Another way of people are divided on the new haircut, but my answer is I don't care. This is easier to do, so I'm doing it this way. I don't care what people think about it, but I appreciate it. So the AI overview is an interesting new kind of way of thinking of search, and AI mode is just going to be an extension of this. Really, it's going to be the same thing, just not cut off. And it's going to be more like ChatGPT or Perplexity, but as you can see here, we also have those rankings as well. If you go back here, this was also the same thing, ranking in Perplexity. So that is we're all over how to do this. We're all over about how to get these different kinds of things. And that's the kind of stuff I'll be showing you how to do today. I'll show you how to do this kind of stuff today as well in a fast, efficient way, which is going to save you thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours of what we used to have to do for SEO. So that's incredibly exciting news. Again, that's going to be the wave of the future, right? This is how search is going to work in the future. We're not exactly sure what exact form it's going to take. I think it'll probably look Sure thing, Diane. I appreciate that. I give you a thumbs up. She says, I can't wait to know how to use the tool. We're going to get to that right away. Yeah, it's nice to have a tool to do your own page instead of having to do it by hand. It's for a guy who's been doing it by hand for 30 years. This tool is like, again, as I said before earlier, hallelujah. It's amazing. But think of it this way: the AI overview is scaring a lot of people. That's the last thing I'll say about it before I get more into the tool and how to do the on page. People are scared of the AI overview and they're scared of the changes that are happening. But you don't need to be. You don't need to be scared about that at all, because really, when it comes down to it, Google is feeding the same old list of sites that they've used. They've spent hundreds of billions of dollars over the last 25-ish years to come up with the best way to score or rank documents, and then use those in some kind of overview. And for years, they've settled on the 10 links, that the phone book style listing. That's where they got it from. The phone books. Does anyone here know what a phone book is? Anyone as old as me remember phone books? That's just how they decided to list it, right? Because how else would you list it? How are you going to be fair to everybody, right? And people already argued, like me, it's not fair. It's already in a subjectively prioritized list from Google, and they had to make subjective, we are the Better Business Bureau style decisions to give swords to some people, to kill some people, to give plowshares to some others, to give other people the benefit. And they've been hiding behind the flag of capitalism, being like, well, these are the businesses that we think are better. And we're like, you're not the Better Business Bureau. Who the fuck are you to decide what businesses are better or worse? But they're like, we made the tool, like it or lump it. So we're like, okay, well, I guess we're going to lump it. And we're going to find out every which way we can manipulate this system to get our freedom back, to get our power back, to get our rights back, right, in this system. So that's perfectly fine. That's how that works. The AI overview is no different. It's absolutely no different. Instead of listing them in a 10 list, it puts it in a paragraph with the commas. There's no difference there. The only difference is that the AI needs to be fluffed in a certain different way, if that makes any sense. Its ass needs to be kissed in a slightly different way than all the other AIs that are making the list that it chooses from to begin with. And yes, that will evolve and that will change over time, just as the rest of SEO has evolved and changed over time, but there will always be SEO, right? There will never, ever be a time where there's not SEO. There will always be SEO, because there will always be the need for us to fluff the AI. There will always be the need for us, sorry if you don't like that metaphor, there will always be the need for us to massage the content, change the content, say it in a certain way, and to promote everyone else out there saying we're great in a certain way, and make sure all of our users who come to this site think we're great in a certain way. These are all the broad spectrum of where the signals are, by the way, if you're not reading between the lines. And make sure our site, not just the page, the site containing it, is structured in the best way that we look the most front-facing, awesome business that they should be recommending in their AI, whether it's a list or a paragraph with a comma list. What's the difference? There's no difference there whatsoever, other than the separate suite of AI agents. They have multi-AI agents. Google is well ahead of the AI game. People think that ChatGPT is blowing Google out of the water. Not even close, not even close. Google invented this technology that they're all using. So they know how to use it best. They've been using it 10 years before everybody else. So Google's just biding its time and taking its time to slowly figure out what people like. They can't move fast and break things, to quote the Zuckerberg or the Silicon Valley mantra, because they have the position to lose, right? ChatGPT can afford to move fast and break things. They got nothing to lose except for the billions of dollars invested in them already, to which they haven't made it back anywhere close yet. And if they just chip off 1 or 2% of the search profit that Google already makes, then they will be a profitable company, right? And that's partially what they're aiming to do. But of course, AI is much bigger than this. They're aiming to do a whole bunch of other things as well. Not quite the same business model. So if you want to search online, if you want that concierge for the information online, Google has been the go-to place for 25 years. And I still predict, and there is absolutely no real data There's people lying all over the place, but there's no real credible data proving that they've lost anything. In fact, maybe 1 or 2% here or there. They still have the vast majority of the market share. They're still the place to be. And again, you don't have to be afraid of the AI overview. It is completely rankable, completely possible, and I'm going to show you how to do it today. Okay, so with that in mind, if you're pumped, give me a pumped in the chat. Give me a woohoo, we're pumped. We want to see this, we want to check it out. If you're on YouTube, give me a pumped. If you have any questions, please by all means put them in there. You can also email me questions, as you see there, my email address listed as well, if you have any SEO questions at all. Alrighty. Scott says he's pumped. I give you the strong arm there. Okay. All right. So this is SEO Copilot. Here it is here. Let me go to the dashboard here. Trey says he's also pumped up. I will pump you up. Remember the 80s? Remember SNL of the 80s? Okay, so here's the tool. It's called SEO Copilot. It is a complete on-page tool, taking you from zero to hero, taking you from finding the ranking opportunities, scanning thousands of keywords where your competitors are weak and where the traffic is high and ready to buy, doing all of the competitor research so you don't have to do it anymore, taking 20 hours of competitive research work and bringing it down into 20 minutes, and then generating high quality human level content that will save you 99% of costs and time, especially if you hire people to do your writing for you. This is going to save you thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours. There we go. Drink room if you're gone. Okay. And it's using this system correctly from zero to hero that we're using to get all the rankings we're getting, not only the normal rankings, which still give you a lot of traffic, but the AI overview as well, as you saw. Plus one little extra method, which I will share at the end. If people really ask me a lot, I will share it to everybody. Otherwise, I'm going to show that one little secret to the Zoom folks. It's one extra little secret, but if people really complain, they're like, I want to see the whole thing, then fine. Stay on the YouTube if you want to see the whole thing, and I'll show you the whole thing. I'm going to show you 99% of it. There's just one little last piece that might make a bit of a difference, but it really doesn't, quite frankly. I'm pretty much going to show you everything today. Okay. However, before we go through the whole system, I just want to point out there's a new feature as well called page audits, and here you can run an audit. So as you can see here, I ran an audit on this one page for this query, bathroom remodel, Roseville, CA. The audit's done. If you go to the audit details, it'll run the audit for you, and it'll auto-magically run all of the scores that you want to run. It'll run all the scores for you, and it will go through the title, the meta description, the H1, the body, all this stuff. Takes a couple seconds to process. That's weird. Coach says, can you do guest audits? Sure, I can. I suppose you're asking me if I could run an audit for you. Yeah, I can, sure. Give me the EMQ you want to rank for and the URL, and I can run something for you, sure. So let me just close CP for a second. So you can see it runs the scores for you. It tells you how difficult the keyword is you're trying to rank for. It can also show you the rankings after that generates. It takes a little while to generate. It shows you the semantic score, the heat score, the predictability score, all the important SEO metrics that you need to know what your spam scores are. And also the query intent, the preferred query intent, and the preferred design. The preferred design of what it should look like in terms of the images and what kind of content you should be having. You can also white label this and export it as a PDF here. As you can see, you can just download this and it gives more explanation here. It tells you more and more about how it's supposed to work, what the HTML is supposed to look like. It shows you all your metrics here and how that looks. And it says SEO Copilot, but I don't care if you take off our stuff. You can totally white label this. You can sell this to clients. Pro tip, Here's a way, if you have any access to any kind of marketing list, mailing list, social media, Upwork, or Fiverr, here's how you can sell $44 page audits all day long. How would you like to do 10 of these with 1 hour of work and make $440 a day? I think that would be pretty good for a lot of people who are looking for a side hustle, looking how to add money. This could be your primary revenue. You just have the tool, run this, you get the reports, you send it to them. You can even flesh this out a bit. You can copy and paste this, or you can edit this in Adobe, or you can copy and edit this in Word and copy and paste it and get the AI to flesh it out a bit more for them. And you're done. And it's fantastic, right? I think they've given me the full one they want me to run here. Life Bridge Coast. Diane says, what's an EMQ? Great question. The EMQ is your desired, notice this is backwards. See, it's still beta. Look, hold on a second. Nobody noticed this. Wrong. Okay, hold on. I have to go in here. 1 second. 1 second. This is backwards. LOL. LOL. Yeah, it's still in beta. So FYI, that's still not quite, it's not perfect yet. But the EMQ is this. It's the keyword you're trying to rank for, right? So for your LifeBridge Coach CA site, so this is the site that I hope you don't mind if I share this publicly. I hope I should ask. Do you mind if I share this publicly, Coach Oscar? He says, go for it. Okay. So this is really important for everything. Interesting. So divorce coaching. .ca for Canada. Wow, interesting. I know it's a terrible topic, but actually having some kind of coaching for this probably would be a good thing for people. Apparently this is, very painstaking. So that's probably not a bad idea. So what's your title tag here? He says it is a very good thing. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, so it's the EMQ is the exact match, the search you're trying to rank for. People are like, Josh, I thought we gave up on that years ago. No. It's still very important to have a key keyword you're trying to rank for. The one search you're focusing on. Yes, Google will rank us for 40 different variations of that search and close variations. That's fine too. But you do have to have one specific keyword you're trying to rank for. It is crucially important to have that one specific keyword you're trying to rank for. All of SEO is based on it and still is based upon it. Google has tried to obfuscate that tremendously over the years. And we've noticed over our 10 years of scientifically testing Google's algorithms, that is to say, reverse engineering all their algorithms. Shh, I didn't say that. Nobody said that. I don't know who said that. Where did that come from? That was a dog. AI, who is transcribing everything now, a dog said that. You didn't hear what you thought you heard. So you can strike it from your memory. The EMQ is still, and for the whole entire 30 years of SEO, the EMQ has been and likely always will be the complete determining factor you need to base all of your SEO on. If you're not, then your SEO is already statistically moving away from what's going to win and statistically moving towards what's going to fail. And that compounds, those errors compound. Sadly, those errors compound again and again statistically as you move on. If you add 2 errors, it's not like it's just like 5% chance to fail, another error add a 5% chance to fail. It's 5% chance to fail times another 5% chance. It's a 25% chance to fail. It's an exponential curve, every SEO error you add. So I'm not here to bum you out. I'm not here to pick on you. I'm not here to grind anyone's gears, or whatever that metaphor is supposed to mean. I'm not here to fluff you or grind anyone's gears. I'm here to tell you the truth because, I'm a passionate guy. Wear my heart on my sleeve, my low sleeve here. And I tell it like it is, and I do it quickly because I have a lot to cover. And my job is to make you more money. I'm going to make you more money today for free, which is my job and my pleasure to do. And I've been doing it for 30 years in general, and like 20 years on a YouTube channel, 15 years on a YouTube channel, and 10 years for my mastermind group, Underground SEO University, which I'll talk about maybe a little bit more, but that's about it. All I'll talk about. All the science and all the SEO knowledge you're seeing, you're hearing today comes from Underground SEO University. A lot of it's been crystallized into SEO Copilot, a tool. Okay, so let me go back here and just quickly see here to answer this guy's question. Okay, so LifeBridge divorce court coaching, I presume you're trying to rank for divorce coaching, looks like to me. Okay. That's what it looks like your main keyword is. He says yes. Okay, so let's take this, divorce coaching. Boom, let's go here. Launch a new audit, divorce coaching. I don't know what it'll do having that all in the caps. Probably nothing bad, probably. Take this, go here, put that in. The country is just for people in Canada, or do you sell globally? Doesn't matter. I'm going to use the small island nation of Tuvalu to extract all of the geolocated signals, especially for me in Canada, because I'm in Canada. I'm very close to Vancouver, actually. I'm just across the, I'm a 2-hour ferry ride away on the island. So I'm going to select Tuvalu to strip out personal settings, geolocation settings, and the language is going to be English. And we say go. He says he sells to North America. Great. Diane asks he says he's in Coquitlam. Awesome. Okay. I love Coquitlam. The mainland is gorgeous as well, especially in that area. Diane says, wouldn't his keyword just be divorce? So that's a great question. Wouldn't the keyword just be divorce? Well, that is great questions here that I can actually run here for you. So let me check here. So I'm going to answer that question by way of doing this, of showing you guys the beginning of how to use the tool and how this works. Coach Oscar says, divorce is likely too broad. Well, that's a good question. So that's the honest question. And I'm glad you guys, I mean, you couldn't have done it better. I'm glad you guys brought this up, because that's the question, is what search do you want to rank for? You know, how do I even decide which search I want to rank for is the question. And that is the thing that the AI can tremendously help you with. He gave me a bunch of other suggestions, which are great. Narcissistic divorce, fascinating. I've never heard of that. High conflict divorce, litigious divorce, divorce coaching. Those are great sounding keywords, but how do you know? How do you know at the end of the day? And so you need to use software to analyze tens of thousands of keywords to find out where the gem keywords are that are very lucrative, but also people have ignored them or missed them or just not did good SEO for them, just not have done good SEO for them. And you need to use an AI to analyze and cast the widest net possible. I used to show how you do this manually with Google Ads, and you'd pull it in the Excel and it would take hours. Now it does it in 5 minutes for you, right? You need to use the AI to do this, right? To cast the widest net possible. So Diane says, let's find out. I agree. Gold star for you, Diane. Let's find out. Let's admit Ryan. Okay, so let's go in here. So this is why you need to do this. This is the perfect example. I couldn't have planned this better. This is why Onpage, many people think Onpage starts with the looking at your competitors and finding the keywords and things of that nature. No, it doesn't. It starts one step before that when you're finding the ranking opportunities you should have tried to build around anyway to make sure that you rank faster, better, easier, cheaper, in a more risk-free way that you can iterate upon. That is to say, you can repeat, you can rinse, repeat. That is the efficiency of SEO, and that is how you win at SEO. People do not win at SEO by ranking number one. They don't. You do not win at SEO by ranking number one. I know people are like, what? That makes no sense. You win at SEO by ranking number one faster, cheaper than everybody else, easier than everybody else, in a risk-free way that is actually helpful for users, so it'll stay in the SERPs in a way you can rinse, repeat faster than everybody else. Milking as much on-page juice out of it as possible so that everyone else has to waste risk and time and money on all the much more risky off-page signals. Pound for pound, you're doing a better job at competing where you can gain ground, which is on-page and on-site, which I'm going to show you today. So that is how you win at SEO. That is probably the biggest secret I'll tell you today, is that in my 30 years experience, Do not just guess what the keywords are. You need to check the keywords out because you need to rank faster, easier, cheaper, in a risk-free way that's iterative. You need to max out your on-page and on-site because that's the only place you can gain ground on your competitors. So does that make sense to everybody? If that makes sense to everybody, please give me a thumbs up or a pump or something in the chat, or say something on YouTube if that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, I'm going to have to say it again, because literally this is the most important thing you're going to learn today, is that you need to be fast. You need to get number one, true, but you need to do it in a certain way that Google is going to like, because they're going to rank you in a certain order. That's important too. But just generally speaking, your SEO, and especially if you want to get in the AI overview, which I'm going to show you today, you need to do your SEO in a certain way, or you'll never get on page one, you'll never get number one, and you'll never get into the AIO. However, just generally speaking, from a business process play, you need to be faster than your competitors. You need to be lighter than they are. You need to be quicker than they are. You need to be more risk-free than they are. That's just the way business works. So I hope that makes sense to everybody. And SEO is no different. Scott gives me a thumbs up. I give Scott's thumb up, a thumb up, two thumbs up. Diane says, sometimes we're so buried in our product, we're blind to what our avatar is looking for. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Diane, again, you couldn't have said it better. So this is why you need to make sure you are finding the ranking opportunities first. So we have some examples here. Let's actually run these examples and see how well they're going to work in keyword discovery. So our audit is running here. It's not quite done yet. That's good. So let's go here and actually go to keyword discovery and run these things. Okay, so let's put in divorce. That was one of them. He's selling to North America. We'll do global. Let's also do divorce coaching. You know, so you're like, okay, generally, should I go this broad of divorce? Should I go divorce coaching? And what about these other ones here? Just to make sure that our AI gets them, because it's going to cast 1,300 different ideas here, but we still might not get the ones he mentioned. So let's go here to the chat. Let me copy and paste all of these here. So one was narcissistic divorce. Let's run that just to make sure. One was high conflict divorce. All these things sound terrible. What a depressing subject to do, but there's a lot of money in it. And helping people out through this trying time is probably an ethical thing to do. And then divorce coaching. So we're going to do all of them. I'm going to cast as wide a net as possible. And immediately it starts to tell me, okay, on average, this is 12% easier to rank than SEO in general. On average, the average SEO niche, which I can calculate because out of all the users, the thousands of users we have using this, doing hundreds to thousands of reports with tens to hundreds of thousands of competitor sites analyzed to see how powerful they are in terms of SEO, I can generate a very statistically accurate average of what it takes to do SEO in general. Everything from payday loans down to a roofing brand in Manitoba where there's like 5 searches a month. We could do where it's the easiest thing to rank for and the hardest thing to rank for. We can find the average in the middle. And now I can tell you with a very high degree of mathematical certainty, which is fantastic, a real keyword difficulty. I don't have to eyeball this with my eyes anymore. The AI is now better at doing this than I am with my 30 years experience because it can tally all the math in a way that my brain never could. So divorce coaching here. Let's run these keyword difficulties to make sure that runs. And look at these. Fascinating. We got a bunch of keyword difficulties that already ran here. But we don't have a lot of people bidding in AdWords, or our API failed for one or the other. I could run this again as well. Looks like I did run it again here, yeah. So don't like, well, okay. So let's take a look here, divorce. So this is how, so that's how you do the high level ideas. You put in even just general high level ideas because you don't know, maybe you want to rank divorce. Maybe you want to rank for divorce, generally speaking. Give a general definition of it. Maybe not. Now, in years past, people would have been like using their own subjective opinion and being like, well, I don't think a website that's going to sell divorce coaching should rank for a really high level head term like divorce. That really seems like it should be like Wikipedia ranking for that, and maybe the Mayo Clinic or something like that, like something like a legal website, like whatever is the Wikipedia of legal, and then the Wikipedia of like psychology or whatever, Mayo Clinic or something, WebMD. Yeah, but that's only 4 spots. Maybe you could be the 5th, right? You never know, and you never know, right? We shouldn't be. This is the age of the AI. This is the age of the computer helping us. And to tell you the truth, even with my 30 years experience, our subjective guesses could be wrong. We could be wrong. You never know. You never know. When I do, and not only is it just the word divorce you might want to rank for, when I look through the list of what I get when I put divorce in by casting such a wide net in keyword discovery, which is the way to use the tool, by the way, and the way you should be using it, cast a wide net, then drill down for your different content marketing pushes you're going to do in sprints. You're going to do sprints of content marketing pushes or campaigns of content marketing pushes. Be like, we're building these 100 pages based on these keywords that make us the most money, but also are the easiest to rank for. So we're making that money sooner. And we're giving Google answers it wants to have in a certain way that it's going to ramp us up, right? Google is like a talent scout and has all these pages behind the stage, and it has an audience, and the audience asks, what is divorce coaching? And Google goes, fuck, I don't know. You answer this question. And the person's like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, they didn't like that. You answer this question. You ever see that ping-ponging in your search console? That's Google making choices of who they're stuffing out on the stage. And they like to rotate them. Like, okay, you've been there for a while. You're going out here now. You're going to answer the question. Oh, they hated that. Never mind. I'm not going to try you again for a while. And that's how it works. That's how RankBrain works. There's 3 primary ranking algorithms, AI agents. These are robust AI agents, right? There's 3 robust AI agents for ranking in Google. Does anybody know what they are? Has anyone heard me yammer on about this before? I'll answer that in a question. I'll answer that question in a second, Oscar. Let me actually put it here in my list in case I forget. They're RankBrain. RankBrain, you're like, oh yeah, I've heard of this. RankBrain is their primary ranker. It will index you more, crawl you more, rank you higher, try you more often in this trial period of they try pages out, right? That's how new pages get traffic to begin with, is they get tried. 1, and they watch the user experience. They watch the user experience on their own site, the mouse movements, who you hover over, what you do. They watch everything, right? They watch the mouse movements, what you do, where you are, and then they watch what you click and they watch what you do on that page. Yes, they can see everything you're doing on the website. Chrome and Chromium version browsers make up the vast majority of browsers. Plus, they have other tricks and ways they can see what you're doing on a website. And so, yes, every user metric is a ranking factor. It's very hard to fake. You should do white hat SEO and do conversion rate optimization. We have the science of how to do this. You should email me. I'll share some tips with you on how to improve this. If you're not doing CRO, all your on-page is for naught. I know you might be like, yes, all your on-page is for naught if you're not also doing conversion rate optimization. If you're not squeezing every last little bit of conversion out of there. Because they go to your page and then bounce back and go, no, don't like that. That's a terrible signal for your ranking. That's a huge demoting signal. You don't want that signal, right? So why am I telling you all these? Those are more secrets that people don't know. Secrets. Here's the secrets. Here, take them. And I'm telling you, I don't feel bad telling you because there's really no way to fake this effectively over time. Google can track every IP address, everything you're doing, unless you're only ranking for tiny little local queries, manipulating the traffic with these like routing systems of multiple phones is very hard to do for Google. You can use that for other things, and we do use that for other things. Trying to fake Google SERP signals are very hard to do these days. Really not even worth the time, quite frankly. Okay, there's another great question from Craig. I'm going to copy and paste this in case I forget to answer it, my friend. I'll answer these all at the end, so wait to the end. Okay, so yes, so that's why what we need to do is cast as wide a net here as possible to try to find the searchers we want to rank for to begin with. There's a certain way you need to feed Google your pages. You need to rank for the easiest first. You need to be a slam dunk and answer the question better than everybody else. When they pull you from behind stage and put you in front of stage, you need to give a better answer. And they're like, oh, you did pretty good. I'm going to try you again. Yeah, I like the cut of your jib. You know, I just imagine, I like the cut of your jib there, youngin'. I'm going to try you again next time. some kind of 1950s, black and white Hollywood kind of metaphor there. But that's basically how it works. And the more they like you, the more they'll try you, right? Like you're a stand-up comedian or something like that. So, all right. So we don't know. Maybe we should rank for divorce on this site. Maybe we shouldn't. Let's see. What does the data say? At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is not my subjective opinion, but what the data says. What does the data say? The data will tell me, should I try ranking for this or not? Well, let's check it out. Okay, so divorce, boom. Again, what a lovely topic. Okay, so divorce lawyer, that's not what we're looking for here. Divorce lawyers near me, not what we're looking for. Divorce attorney near me, not what we're looking for. I can just hide those by clicking the hide, right? Divorce, not recommended. I am not surprised. It is 124% harder than SEO is on average. It's not really kind of what you want to be ranking for. Yeah, it makes a shit ton of money. Now, this is a rough ballpark of how much money it can make based on certain scientific guesses, like taking 30% of this traffic, which is what you'll get around number one, and then 5% of a conversion rate times the money that this can make per click, because the average money you'll make per click on this, Google has literally published papers on this. So this is scientifically valid. It's a 1-to-2 ratio. So if it's a 1-to-2 ratio, times this, times this, times this, at low competition, you'll get a number like this. And yeah, if you're ranking for diverse, if you're ranking for, oh my God, I'm getting diverse. If you're ranking for divorce, yes, you can expect to make a whole F ton of money, and that's why the final return on investment is quite good to go for it. But this is not recommended for new sites, not recommended for sites that aren't directly related to this, and not recommended for new SEOs, is what I mean by not recommended. And why? Because it's 124% harder than SEO, all of other SEO is, or SEO is in general. This is in the top percentile. I've seen 150 being the highest for like a payday loans kind of thing, or for other keywords. That's the highest I've ever seen the ratio. So this is in the top level of how tough to rank for. Diane says, great overview. I'm glad you like it. I'll give you a gold star. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. Thank you for interacting. Now, that doesn't mean that all of these are bad, right? You might want to talk about divorce lawyers. What does that look like? Divorce lawyers. It pretty much is going to be, okay, it's going to be, yeah, it's people, you can hire divorce lawyers. But here's a question, but it's a government site, so good luck knocking it out. So that's not a one you might want to rank for. But what about an uncontested divorce lawyer or family solicitors or alimony? You might want to try ranking for alimony and see if that is not too hard or what that means. You can be like, okay, now we're getting actual answers from government sites. So again, this is not a good idea to try and go against them, but you could get down here. You could beat Investopedia. You could beat this blog. There are spots at the bottom here you can beat. So you can click it and eyeball it. You can also eyeball it by going here. Was that alimony I clicked? You can also click the bar here and see what my AI thinks of them. You can see who's doing the SEO properly by putting the EMQ in the right places. See, everything is based on the EMQ. And how much their pages are focused on, how much their sites are focused on it. And you could tell other things here. You could see who's the weakest, right? Some of these other ones are pretty weak. So you could be like, I don't know, I'll favorite this. Maybe, who knows? Maybe I can come back and do this. Maybe what is divorce papers like? Okay, it looks like it is. Yeah, it knows where I am. Specifically for this, hopefully my wife doesn't find that. She's like, oh no, you're trying to divorce me. No, honey, I'm not. It was for a class, really. Yeah, a lot of government stuff. But here at the bottom here, we're getting Law Depot. We're getting different things that you could punt off of here, right? If it's giving me an Ontario website, I'm nowhere near Ontario. That'd be like being in California and it gives you a Minnesota family court document. That doesn't make any sense at all. They're hurting for, here's where my subjective opinion comes into play and my 30 years experience. they're hurting for pages. So you could get some traffic at the bottom here, quite possibly, quite possibly. So you could favorite that, you could favorite this. I could also go here, and I could find the boosting keywords. That's running a keyword spy report. I'm skipping ahead, but I could say, I want these in Tuvalu. I select Tuvalu because that is an island nation that's not aligned with anybody. They don't search necessarily in English. So it's stripping out all of the geographic location for the rest of the world, except for Tuvalu, which is such a small place. I don't care about ranking for there, and say continue. And then boom, it's going to run those ones. But you see, I could go on and on here. I could go on. Coach Oscar about, oh, great question, Oscar. Let me make sure I answer that as well. I'm going to have a big answer for that thing. So there's going to start to be informational, there's going to start to be informational queries here that could work very well for you, right? A lot of these here are like online divorce. You might be able to do rank and rent for this. It makes good money, right? You want to sort by the final return on all things being equal. If you have a powerful website and you're like, I'm ranking all over the place for these queries, Josh, then sort by final return on investment and just go down the list. However, if you have a new website or an untrusted website, and you're like, Josh, I am not ranking all over the place for these divorce kind of queries. In fact, it takes more than 24 hours to get my pages indexed by Google. And I'm like ranking on page 4 at best for most of these. If that is the case, then you have what we call a new or untrusted site. You're in the sandbox, so to speak. You need to break out of the sandbox by showing Google that they can trust you. And how do you do that? You set yourself up for success. You don't set yourself up for failure. Going for the not recommended or the toughest keywords first is setting yourself up for failure. That's like going out and trying to deliver a TED Talk on something you didn't do the homework for, right? That's not going to work. And they're going to like, never mind, kid. We're not using you anymore. I'm not going to try you for months. You're in the bad books, kid. See? That's what I apologize for it's Friday and I'm tired. It's been a long week. But that's how it works, right? They're going to be like, okay, well, we tried you. You sucked. I'm not risking that again. Not for a long time. See, that's why you need to build on the easiest keywords that make you the most money. The other problem with building, however, on easy keywords, like for example, let me show you. So what you want to do, for sure, just to finish this point, if you are not ranking all over the place for this topic, page 1 already on like at least 10 pages for this, 5-10 pages for this topic, then what you need to do is you need to sort it by the easiest keywords first, and just go down this list so that you're getting, as long as these are, like this could be a great page to rank, right? These LGBT divorce statistics, which I'm curious what that is actually. Now, I'd be fascinated to know what that is actually. Do they get divorced as much as straight couples? I wonder. But there could be plenty of these keywords that are going to work for you. Plenty of them are not going to work for you, right? You would just change this to 2025. And anyway, you'd sort from the very easiest and you'd move down. And then these guys are much easier to do. They have no idea how to do SEO. The SEO is not done here correctly. There is not the EMQ anywhere in the page title or URL. They have no page rank. Their site focus is terrible. Their sites are not focused on this topic. Their pages are barely focused on this topic. This should be in the 40s, usually. It's only in the 30s or the 20s. These guys have no idea how to rank for this. They're ranking just because no one else tried to rank for this yet. And look, it's up 143%. So theoretically, it's a good keyword to try. It's a good keyword to add to your cluster. It's a good keyword to add to your internal site navigation for the informational aspect of it, and to boost up your site and to have a win, right? To set yourself up for a win, so that when somebody says, what about Google, they say from the stage, from the audience, what about LGBTQ plus A947X9 alpha beta, whatever the hell else is in there now? How often do they get divorced? And Google goes, I don't know anything because I'm just a dumb AI. And it goes behind the screen and goes, you. And you're like, me? Yeah, you. Answer this question. And if you do a good job, again, they're going to try you again more often. Every time you do a good job, then the users, they can tell, are happy with the answer. Be like, oh, I like the color of that gym. I can trust this site. That's what you need. Google needs to trust you, right? Diane says this info is awesome. I'm glad. I apologize. You have to sit through my crazy. It's Friday. I haven't been doing enough creative projects, so I have to do some acting for you. Bullshit. I apologize for that. But anyway, so that's what you need, right? And think about it from Google's perspective, right? It's a huge risk. It is a huge risk for Google to take a chance on you. You know, that's take a chance on me. It's a huge risk for them to take a chance on you. Google, nothing is more important to Google than their user satisfaction. I mean, you know this. You've heard them say it for 25 years. They've been saying this for forever, right? Nothing is more important to them than getting the right answer at the right time to the right person. So you need to be the right fit. So you can be the one that gives the right answer at the right time, chosen at the right time by RankBrain for the right person. Oh, I didn't tell you the other three algos. It's RankBrain, which crawls and indexes, it ranks you higher. SpamBrain, which is the yin to that yang, which de-indexes you, decrawls you, and ranks you lower by a whole suite of hundreds of spam algorithms, giving you dozens of different kind of spam qualifications that bring you down, and they trust you less, they crawl you less, they spend less time, less resources on you, because it costs them a lot of money to index and process and copy the entire internet. And then the final one, third, is SnippetBrain. It's the one that's doing the AI overview. It's the one that goes, after the final suggestion. So it's like really there's 3 stage managers, and one goes, I like that one. It's got they've got good roots. And then SpamBrain goes, yeah, but they have this scandal here in the paper. No, never mind. Check the next one. Oh, that one's not too bad. Try that one. Oh, there's nothing wrong with them in the paper about that. What do you think, SnippetBrain? They get the that's like the director of the play. Just work with me for this metaphor. That's like the director of the play, and they go, let's try them. They look good. They have the right costume on and the different stuff we need for the AIO, and I'm going to do my QDD on them. QDD stands for Query Deserves Diversity. This query deserves diverse results, and this is how we're going to serve the diverse results by trying them out. You know, not fully trusting them, but trying them out. Diane asks, so do you need to get RankBrain and SpamBrain snippet, or is this in the app? Yes, the app does all of this for you. I'm going to show you how to do all this. The app does all of this for you automatically, and way faster and way cheaper than it takes by hand. So you're definitely in the right place. And that was gold star. Give you a gold star. That was definitely the right question to be asking. So you're like, okay, great. I get it, Josh. I get it. It makes sense. Of course, trust is the most important thing for Google. You've heard of TrustRank. You've heard of people talking about trust a lot. And that's because it's real, right? They have a ton of quality algorithms. They have a ton of spam algorithms. If you don't believe that, I can prove it to you. I have multiple leaks direct from Google engineers. I'm like the Ross Coulthart of SEO. I have multiple leaks of top level search engineer stuff telling me exactly how the thing works, and I can prove that to you. So if you're not already ranking, right, for a bunch of these queries, normally you would sort by final return on investment. This gives you the most lucrative queries that are the easiest, or that, the easiness times the money. So that's why you're going to get this kind of stuff up here. It makes a lot of money, but it's easier. It's going to float the best ones to the top. But you can't afford to go for these until you're ranking really very well. So to do that, you need to build up site size. You need to build up your site size on the easiest queries. You need to start from the top of keyword difficulty and build on the easiest queries, and make sure you notice ones here that are relevant to you that also make a good amount of money. Because here's the other problem with this, is that historically SEO is like, yeah, we know. This is called finding the low-hanging fruit. That's what they used to call it. And we know we want to build the keywords that, or like an 8-tailed keyword that are easiest to rank for, so we can show off to our clients that we got them ranking. Yes, but that's not our job, right? Our job is not just to rank any keywords for any page. Our job is to make our clients money. That is our job. Our job is to make us money. That is our job. Our job is to make our boss money for doing in-house SEO. That's our job. Local SEO, and by the way, just so everybody knows, everything I'm saying today, all this on page is for every single kind of SEO that exists. For consultant SEO, in-house SEO, local SEO, global SEO, it's for all of it. It also relates to the map pack as well, although map pack has a whole bunch of other factors I'm not going to cover today, geo-proximity and things of that nature. So don't be like affiliate SEO, consultant, all of it. All the on-page is the same. E-commerce SEO, right? I'm going to say something that's actually fairly controversial, but it comes from 30 years experience of being able to step back and be like, it's all the same. All that SEO is the same, right? For on-page SEO. It's just the kind of pages you build are different, but you use the same SEO principles. So don't be like, Josh, I only do local SEO. I don't want to hear about this affiliate SEO stuff. It's all the same. Everything I'm saying here is applicable to all of it, just so everyone knows. Okay, Coach Oscar, that's another great question. Craig says he's got a bounce. Good stuff. Catch you soon. No problem, Craig. If you want any of those discounts, let me know. Email me any of the gifts as well. Craig has been around for quite some time. Let me put that question here. Oscar, okay, so you're like, okay, I get it, Josh. We got to rank, we got to set it up and make it easy, a slam dunk, so that Google builds up trust. We're building up the weight of our site, the WEIGHT, the weight, the footprint of our site needs to be bigger and bigger and bigger on these topics, right? Again and again and again, more and more and more and more and more is what we want to do. All these topics have the same kind of thread of being on the same thing. We need to build all these up. Gotcha, Josh, no problem. However, here's the problem. The problem with the way that we've been doing SEO for years is that most of these low competition, easy keywords, most of them make no money whatsoever, right? A lot of them, actually, this is a very lucrative niche. A lot of them are making money. But if I were to go to another niche, you'd see like a lot of them would be $0 or $1. A lot of them would be making no money whatsoever. So that's the other thing you need to keep in mind. Remember, you can't take years to rank. You need to be able to rank right away. You need to be able to make money in month 2 if possible, right? And you need to set yourself up for success for 2 things. 1, your business succeeding, and 2, Google trusting you, trying you, and then trusting you more and building on that trust. And quite frankly, trust of the client and trust of the Google really is how you can think of it. You need to show the client how, look at, I'm not getting you to rank for some 8-tail, what is the best divorce lawyer from 2021 jokes, like some kind of silly little 8-word long tail keyword that's not making any money, but you made a blog post about it. And you got, look, I got #1 ranking for you, client. And they're like, yeah, great. What kind of money is that making me? It's not making them any money, right? You need to make them money. You need to make them more money sooner, faster, or the business will fail no matter what the business is. Your business, their business, doesn't matter. You need to make more money faster while building up the site trust, building up the site weight, and at the same time. You need to do all that simultaneously, right? You need to kill 3 birds with 1 stone, right? And so that's kind of the problem, historically speaking, is that SEOs have known this, right? Okay, yeah, you got to find the ranking opportunities. Of course, this is SEO 101 for the last 30 years that even still people are forgetting or giving up on or don't think are important. It still is, always will be. So good, more opportunities for us. That's fantastic. But they're also, however, quite often will fail in that they're like, okay, well, I'm going to rank you for this 10-word query that no one ever types in except for me when I'm doing a search to prove to you that I can rank you, client. That's not going to cut it long term, right? You need to make that business, whosever enterprise it is, you need to make that enterprise as much money as fast as you can. You need to serve the client trust, but your bank trust. You need to serve the bank trust simultaneously with the Google trust. So that's another reason why keyword discovery is so important. And you go down from the keyword list and you're like, oh, look, this gem keyword is easy to rank. Ignore these ones for a second. Just these may be good or bad. That's really the point. The point here is an academic point to no matter what you type in here, when you're looking at this data here, this is how to interpret this data here. It needs to be Either you are already dominating for this and you can just start at the top of final ROI, or for 90% of you, you're not dominating in it. You need to build up trust so you can dominate in it. And to do that, you need to sort by very low difficulty, and you need to start building pages at an accelerated, aggressive rate. You need to build high quality pages at an excessive, aggressive, accelerated rate. And that is keyword discovery. That is what's important. You keep plugging in ideas here, and you're like, okay, let's find out the best ideas here. Look at this. This one is good to rank for. It makes money. It's got searches. Great. Look on, and you're doing this online, so you don't really care about the near me. And you can just, oh, for women, look at that. For men, these are gem keywords for you. Divorce coach online, great. And you never know what was going to make the most money. It just so happens you've chosen the right one, Oscar. This one makes the most money. Congratulations. But it may not necessarily be the best one. You might make more money on these, quite frankly. They're more popular. And this could make you a lot of money too, even though it has less searches, quite frankly. Diane says, I'm just starting a new site, so this is great timing. I'm glad you agree. She says, so for Oscar, what pages should he create? And Oscar asks, so if the keyword is divorce coaching, sorry, that was very Canadian. If the keyword is divorce coaching, if the keyword is divorce coaching, then does that mean the title of the blog should be exactly divorce coaching? I'll get to that. I will answer that. Good question. I will answer that in a few minutes when we get to the part 3. Trey says, I used the audit beta tool to score audit an existing live page. When it populated the body, it seemed to only show the text content that exists just in the header section. Oh yeah, that's a bug. So I appreciate that. Thanks for the bug report, Trey. This report's probably done here. We can look at the details. So we can look here at the details. Looks like something, the importer didn't like something. It is very difficult to get an AI to do this, by the way. Getting an AI to analyze a web page like a human being is highly, highly difficult. So that's why it's still in beta. I still want you guys to test it out, try it out, see how well it works. However, I've got some pro tips for you. So, and this I'll finish page audits and I'll move on to the rest. So when you do a page audit, it will sort it into projects, under page audit. So if you click page audit, you'll see here the audits that you ran. Oh, it's not backwards. I typed it in backwards. Oops. I typed it in backwards here. Blaming my employees. Actually, oops, I did it wrong. But we need to start sanity checking the user input. What can you do on your end for sanity checking? I will do AI to do the rest, and we will add it. So that's where Oscar and I will start adding in an AI to sanity check all this for you. That's the place where we should start. So, so Diane, she says, and Oscar has also asked, so what pages should he create? Okay, well, these are the pages that he should be creating. For his site, I need to now determine, first off, he would know from his Search Console how well he's ranking. So if you haven't signed up for Google Search Console, make sure you do. It is the best free rank checker there is. It's the only one that is completely accurate. All the rest are all partially wrong. And in Underground SEO University, I teach you how to read Search Console like you're a cardiologist. We can read that wavy line and we can determine so many things from that like we were cardiologists. So again, wait to the end for the gift for that. But here's another thing you can do. Let's search here for divorce. Actually here, let's go to to do it accurately. Let's go here. Let's see if people are watching on the YouTubes. All right, we've got 4 people. Guys, make sure you ask any questions you have. Let's do my test search here, which is a simplified search string. Here you can, I'll put it in the chat so you guys can use it. Oscar says he's on page 2 for divorce coaching for men. That's awesome, buddy. Divorce coaching for men, how difficult was that? For men, this one is easier, on the easier side. So I guarantee to you that there is some, people don't know how to do this. So I guarantee to you there is the good news for you today is I guarantee to you I can give you a boost today from the information I'm going to show you today. I can guarantee it. This should not be hard to get page one on a site. This should not be hard to do. So that's one good piece of evidence that you need to build from the easiest. But here's another piece of evidence. And also it answers the question, how many, I need to change this to TV for Tuvalu. And then I need to change this to divorce plus coaching to fake a search. There we go. The other question is, well, how many pages do I need? What kind of footprint do I need? This is how you can tell that. You go here and find the #1 ranker, certified divorce coach. Interesting. The divorce and separation coach. Oh my God, I need divorce. The divorce and separation coach. Okay, so you pick the top one here. Let's go to this guy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go site colon and do a site colon for this guy. So you put site colon here. I'm going to get the Google information for this guy. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down and I'm going to click to the very end as much as it'll let me do. And sometimes this goes to page 36. Sometimes this goes to page 14. All right, we've got 23 pages. That means there are 230 pages on this site that are about this particular topic, and they're #1. So that doesn't mean you have to match 230 pages, but it does mean you're going to have to start to appreciate or approach that number of pages on your website. Because a vast amount of the ranking factors these days is on-page and on-site ranking factors. So it makes sense if you want to have the bona fides, if you want to have the street cred in Google's eyes of being a page that they would even possibly trust to try to answer a question on such an important topic. All your competitors have like 200 pages-ish around there. You're going to have to start to approach that. And you need to do that fast. You can't wait for months and months. You can't build 1 page a day and wait until 200 days later to maybe hope to help, that's going to help you, and then move on and do all SEO from there. There's so much SEO you need to do after on page in many cases. Not in all cases. We are very good at finding the right keywords and squeezing blood from a stone, or blood from the on-page stone, if you will. We're very good, at finding all the ranking factors that we could do on page and on site, because they're the easiest, the least risky, and they are the cheapest. They cost nothing to do except for the tool you need to do it at the time, the speed you need to do it, and your time, which we can greatly save by having the AI help you with it. There's just no way to do this by hand. If you were doing 200 quality pages by hand, it would take you, you do 2 pages a week. That's what our rate was. 2 pages a week for white hat, high quality pages, where you do 20 hours of research because you know nothing about divorce coaching, because that's how SEO works. Maybe you do, but you know nothing about divorce coaching. You know nothing about what they're saying. You know nothing about what you need to say. You need to do 20 hours of research on that and then hammer out a page, and maybe it'll rank. It's got human fallibility built in. You can't do that anymore. You need to use the AI to generate all this. I'm going to show you how to do this today. You need to use AI to get in the AI overview, which I'm also showing you today. Diane says, 200 pages. Wow, how can you do that in bulk? Coach Oscar says, I'm 20% of the 200 pages. Awesome. Well, it's good you've already built 50 pages, if my math is correct. 40 pages, if my math is correct. But not enough. Not enough. So that's part of the reason why you're on page 2, right? On page, your page is probably not good enough, and your site is not big enough yet for the 3 stage managers to go, let's try him consistently and get him repeatable traffic. He gives a crying emoji. Don't worry, my friend. We will fix it. The AI, I'll give you an AI robot. We will fix it. I'll show you how to fix it today. It's easy. So Diane says, how do you build that in bulk? Easy. You go into SEO Copilot and you build them, right? It's not rocket science at this point. I'm sure you see where I'm going. It's you go in here and you go, okay, I want to build this, and this. I'm going to build 5 pages a day, 25 pages a week, more if you can. There's no limit. There's no content velocity penalty. There is no such thing as a content velocity penalty. Some blogs add 1 million pages a month. A month. Do you think they have a special dispensation from Google to do this? No, they do not. Google doesn't give a flying fuck how fast your content is added. All they care about is if it is high quality content. The faster you add it, the better, because the faster they're getting good, high quality answers. And if you're like, Josh, did a bunch of people do a test showing how content velocity is a deranking factor? No, they did not. No, they did not. They didn't do a test. They did bullshit. Do you know what stands for SEO science in the rest of the industry right now? Bullshit, right? This is what they did. They went on to ChatGPT. They built 1,000 shit pages. They put them on their site and indexed the sitemap. And the site and Google indexed 10 pages a week. And then after a few weeks, their site crashed. One, that's not 1,000 pages in a day. That's 10 pages a week, right? Up to 40 pages. And then that was more than the 10 pages they had. That was the site footprint. The vast majority, 40 spam pages versus 10 medium spam pages. And then the site tanked. Okay, well, that's not a test of content velocity, is it? That's cause correlation fallacy. Or in the Latin, post hoc ergo propter hoc. After this, therefore, because of this. That I was doing a PhD in philosophy. I know cause correlation fallacy very well, I assure you. Where we invented it and then everyone else uses it in philosophy. Where we discovered, hey, this is a fallacy. And it works both ways, right? It's equally a fallacy to presume it's not causation. It is a fallacy to presume correlation is necessarily causation. It is equally a fallacy to presume correlation is not necessarily causation. For example, if you are standing at a campsite and someone says, I'm going to light a fire, and you're turned away from the fire, and after a while you start to see light, and you heard the flick, flick, flick of a flint, and you see light, and you feel heat on your back, and you're smelling smoke, you don't know for certain there's a fire behind you for all those correlating factors. But if you thought, well, cause correlation fallacy, just because I see these correlations means I should not think there's a fire, that's equally stupid, right? That's how you get stupid. If you're like, no, I'm not moving, my ass is getting really warm. Maybe I should move. Maybe the correlations are pointing to a pattern here. No, cause correlation fallacy, right? I don't want to be fallacious. I just want to be on fire, apparently, and burn. If you smell smoke, it doesn't mean there's fire. It doesn't mean there isn't fire, and you have one piece of evidence that there is fire, so maybe there's some effing fire. So anyway, sorry, I had to give my rant for that. Trey says, wasn't that site domain was the code for all pages on that domain that is indexed? Yes, it is, Trey. You're absolutely right. Trey's asking, that's a good question. Trey's saying, hey, isn't this all their pages on the site? Yes, it is. But because divorce coach is part of their URL, every single page on the site is contributing to ranking for divorce coach. Oh my God. Why can't I speak? Every single page on that site is adding to their site weight and their ranking for divorce coach. So you're going to need to start approaching these pages. Here's the good news. You don't need it. You probably don't need 230 pages. Pound for pound, when you're using SEO Copilot, our pages are far more SEO powered than everybody else's page, because again, we're really good at doing this, and we've been doing this a very, very long time. You're just gonna have to take my word for it right now if you don't know me from Adam, but we're really good at doing this. We've been doing this for a very, very long time. We're usually getting page number 1 with just on page alone, and then we do a little bit of off page signals to just sprinkle it back up, and then we sit on our ass the rest of the day because we're done. Although that's a bad example. We really should continue doing SEO because we don't want people to catch up with us, but you get the idea. So Oscar here needs to build up about 200 pages. That should take him no more than 2 months to do. No problem. If he's building all high quality pages and then comes in and dials in the on-page, we do 2 rounds of on-page. We do the first blush, then we come back and dial it in for the pages Google didn't like. Or you can just do it right the first time, one or the other. It depends on how fast you want to go. Yeah. So In this particular case, we need to build that many because he has that many, his competitor has that many pages, but we probably only need to build about 100, quite frankly. Our pages are usually like 2 times as powerful. We probably only need to build about 100 of quality pages, unlike like he's got PDFs and image galleries and weird content injection pages or WordPress things that should be roboted out. That are being low quality spammy things that are being thin content that's wasting Google's money. So Google is going to nail them on that, and we're not going to do those things. Ryan says, do we need? Oops, sorry, I hit the mic. Ryan says on YouTube, do we need backlinks to rank in the AIO? That's a great question, my friend. Wait to the end. I'd be happy to answer that. Let me add it to the list. Do we need backlinks to rank in the AIO? The short answer is maybe. Maybe. Depends. And I'll get to that. Okay, so that's keyword discovery. What should Oscar be ranking for? Any of them that looked good. Any of them that looked like they were easy and made money. The easier it was and the more money it made along the lines of all of these different things that we're talking about here. Narcissistic divorce, good job. Looks like it's the easiest and makes the most money. High conflict divorce. Looks like for you it's the easiest and makes the most money, but you shouldn't be starting with it. You shouldn't have already tried to rank for this, because now what's happened, because you're not ready to answer this question, Google has tried you and they're not going to try you again for much longer. You've been put on their shit list. It's going to take a while for Google to forget now. Do you see that? Again, I don't mean to shit on your SEO. I don't mean to make anyone feel bad, but I'm here to hopefully teach people so they can not repeat mistakes. This was a mistake to go for this right away. And that's another thing that people don't understand. They're like, Josh, don't I build all my pages at once and then I try to SEO them up? No, you're not ready to answer those questions. You build the easier ones first. You don't go for the hard ones right away. I mean, if you want, you can have them on the site, but you have to put them under no index, right? So that Google doesn't try to rank you for that, because you're not ready for that, right? Is what I would recommend. Okay, so Oscar says, my low SEO correlates to low number of leads. I'm sure it does. I'm absolutely sure that it does. But the AI can help you with that. Trey says, so if the EMQ was litigious divorce, it would be better to query site domain litigious divorce? Yes, exactly, Trey. Gold star for you. You can also, what he's asking is this. It's like, okay, what if I wanted to go for litigious divorce? Let's go. Okay, so we'll find out who ranks number 1 for this. They're not recommending anybody here, which is interesting, because it's a general informational query. So then we'd select this guy and we'd say, okay, how many pages does this guy, however, have, not in general, but on litigious divorce? Or just on litigious divorce, he's only got 1, or just on divorce, say. Okay, now he's got, looks like he has 60 plus 50 spam pages that are adding somewhat to his thing. So you've got to repeat with the search. Okay, so we have 60-ish pages that you need to be on the general topic. However, if you had a site that was just focused only on litigious divorce, here's another pro tip. You might want to do a microsite on this one topic as opposed to one major site on just this topic. Because a site dedicated to I don't know if you noticed, but implicit in what I said in terms of the difficulties, having a site dedicated to a topic has that much more juice and power, and your cluster is that much more powerful, and your entity coordination is that much more accurate, more coordinated, if you know what that means. And if you don't, I can explain it in Underground SEO University, to rank for that one thing. So sometimes, divorce coaching, that makes sense. I would have a general one page. I would have one site for all the topics. But if you're like, we sell, this happened very recently to somebody who won the draw, which I got to remember to do, who won the draw and got the SEO power audit from me. They were trying to rank for like software, arc welders, and car body repair on one site. I'm like, no, that's 3 different sites. And they're like, well, that's what my company does. Well, now your company has 3 different sites if you want to rank, because you're doing keyword cannibalization. You're cutting off your nose to spite your face. All those different topics are taking away from each topic. And so you need to pool it on each for one site. And that could be something you decide, not because of your subjective opinion, and that's how SEO has worked for years. Those are not the things really to decide upon. That's like saying, well, for years we drilled holes in people's head to get rid of the demons. So let's start drilling a hole in your head when you have a headache. That's obviously the wrong thing to do, to move ahead non-scientifically. And because people are like, well, it just seems to me, it feels like it feels like I should have different websites for this. That's not the reason to do it. The reason is because the data says so. Because one, they're all equal difficult, so they should be separated because you're making it harder for your SEO for all 3. But also 2, each of these niches are very difficult to rank for. So I'm going to separate them out into separate sites anyway, because then I have more power to rank for that on the site. And not only this, but there's some risk mitigation strategies for many sites as well. Let's say out of 3 sites, 1 gets hit, but the other 2 are still ranking. Well, then you have 2 other sites that are ranking. You still have some income coming in, as opposed to you have too many spam pages on your one site that was a catch-all on everything. Now nothing's ranking anymore, and you're not making any money, and you're scrambling for months to try to get the SEO fixed. That is a bad place to be in. It's a place I've seen people get in a million times. I have emails weekly of people doing this. I'm like, okay, well, it'll take me $1,000 a month to fix it for you, and I'll do this and I'll do that. And sometimes they can't afford the $1,000 a month or what it takes for the expert, or even if they're doing it themselves, sometimes they can't do it fast enough. So you don't want to get in that position. So it's not about ranking number 1. It's about ranking number 1, again, like I said, quicker, cheaper than everybody else, in a risk-free way that you can rinse, repeat. You can outcompete everyone on in terms of the race, in terms of the business efficiency of just the raw moves you need to do on a daily basis. You do less moves, you do them faster, and they cost you less money. That's how you win at SEO. And you have to be risk-free movements that you're going to rank not just for 6 months, not just for 6 years, but over all time. You're building an investment that's going to rank over time, that when you want to retire or move, you can sell it later on. That is how you do SEO. All right. Diane says, can you cover at the end how a brand new site should start? Sure. I can talk about that in the end. Sure. Trey says, you're going to show some tips after I asked if the body text was a bug in the audit tool, then went down another rabbit hole. Yes, I'll show you that. And then Diane asks, how do you know if a page or site has been banned? Okay, I could answer that as well. Thank you for the questions. I give you all gold stars. Okay, let me quickly answer Trey's question, then I can move on here. Okay, so there's this. You guys have any questions here? Make sure you ask. Okay, so in page audits here, another thing you can do is in the projects. In projects, you go to page audit and you go and you click on the article builder, and you can see what my AI imported. You can see how it tried to make sense of the page and imported it. And what you can do is you can manually change this. And in fact, to make sure that nothing is messing it up, I'll just highlight this whole thing of the page starting at the H1, and they're just going to do the content piece, right? So they're only going to go to here. I'll Control C this. I'll go into Notepad. I'll paste it here, Control A, Control X, go here, Control A, delete, boom. So now I just have the text, right? I'll make this the H1, then all the rest is text, and that's fine. I'll make that. Fine, that's good enough. Then I'll go up and rerun it here. And this will rerun it for everything. this will rerun it for the whole deal. Diane asks, lots of keyword research to find the queries you want to rank for. Go for the easier queries first. Yep, Trey is saying to Diane, yep, correct. Create pages and blog posts, etc. for each of the queries using SEO Copilot to help create those pages. Then go after the harder queries. Exactly, Trey. Gold star, my friend. But you've been doing this for quite some time. Diane says, it creates the images too? No, we do not create the images. That's a whole nother, any AI right now that's creating you images is a piece of shit that you shouldn't be using. It's very difficult to get the AI to give you the correct images. But in Underground SEO University, I can show you how to make to get the correct images in like 5 minutes of work. That gives pretty big boosts. It's a pretty major ranking factor. Diane says, great. I have a lot of questions. I probably don't have time today. So what you can do is you can redo it here. See, I reran it. It gave me everything here, and it'll say why it doesn't like it. Then if you now go back to page audits, let's save this. Now, if you go back to page audits, you should be able to see those differences reflected in the audit. See, here they are. Boom. And here's another beautiful thing about CP is now you can start asking it questions. It has all the information about how your site is working, how your page is working. Now it's going to start giving you suggestions on how you fix all this. This is how you fix it. So you just can copy and paste this and say, how do you fix it? We need to do this. Copy and paste that. You can paste that in. Or you can ask it, how do I, what's one of the problems here? How do I improve the semantic score of 22? CP will start giving you some advice. It's your Copilot, right? It'll start giving you some advice as how you can improve a number of these things. And you can also export the conversation. It says, well, you need to incorporate relevant keywords. You're 22, but you need to be in the optimal range of 44 to 55. So you can incorporate relevant keywords. You can utilize the entities tab that is in Article Builder. You can expand the content. You can add variations. You can focus on related questions, but you want to ensure natural language. You can use lists, etc., etc., etc. It's telling you a whole bunch of ways you can do it. Not the least of which is what I'm going to show you in later today of how to flesh this out as well. Okay, does that make sense to everybody how that works? Okay, so that's how we found the ranking opportunities. If you forget everything else that I've said today, don't forget this. It will set you right. 70% of SEO goes wrong here when they fail to do this or fail to do this correctly. And I will answer the rest of the questions that you asked about it at the end. Step number 2 is, okay, Josh, now we need to go look at competitors' pages, and we need to suss out for 20 hours what kind of keywords they're using and do all that kind of stuff, right? Wrong. You don't need to do any of those kinds of things. We've already run, I showed you from Keyword Discovery, we've already run a whole bunch of the reports. They're probably already done now. See, they're done. Boom, 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 boom. They're complete. They're done. Here's the, hasn't got the rankings. It takes some time to populate. We already have this built, right? We already have the report built. We already have an article in there as well. We already have the report built for these. We started these in Keyword Discovery. When we're under here, we just clicked this, this, and this, and we clicked Find Boosting Keywords, right? Boom, Find Boosting Keywords is what we did. One way to do it. The other way to do it is come here in Keyword Spy and run a Keyword Spy report and put the EMQ in here, and then put the location. Pro tip, if you want to strip out the geographic stuff, I would do Tuvalu, island of Tuvalu here. If you're having a local query where it's like, no, I want to rank specifically, and I want to know what you need to rank for like Winnipeg, Manitoba, then you could put that in there and start the Keyword Spy report. And all the reports show up here in reports, including the reports that were run for page audits. You can separate them all by project as well. So I can make a project for them and set that up. Can manage the projects here. And so let's take a quick look at how this looks and see all the work that it does for you here. So let's go into report. So remember when I said I would answer the question about RankBrain and we do all this for you? Here you go. Here's the RankBrain entities. Entities can be words or phrases. Depending on the AI, for RankBrain, the entities are words. But down here as well, we have the bigrams and trigrams that you need to pay attention to, and the single usage of the words. That's when you would dial in the SEO. I'll show that another time. I'm running out of time. In BERT here, we have the BERT entities that uses phrases. I'll be replacing that pretty soon, but you're going to be wanting to use these BERT phrases pretty soon. And it also has the query intent. Our AI automatically analyzes the shard collection, which is the 1,000 pages that comes back. It looks through tens of thousands of lines of code and finds out what the actual query intent is. Not your guess, not some SEO's guess, but what the actual query intent is, which Google calls behind the scenes, we learned in a leak, query interpretation. Google calls it query interpretation. We call it query intent. Same difference. When people type in divorce papers, what they're really typing in and what Google changes it to behind the scenes, and therefore what your page needs to be about, is this: how to file for divorce and obtain divorce papers, and the best online divorce services and related procedures. Last but not least, that's important in here that you need to think about, and you need to think about it for like 5 seconds, is the competitor HTML widgets, or what we call page type. Yes, page type is a ranking factor. And yes, HTML and Elementor and WordPress and Joomla, all those things are ranking factors. And our AI goes and scans tens of thousands of lines of code and finds out basically what we call the HTML widgets, the discrete widgets, like we need ratings, we need key features in a table, we need some kind of quote from an author, we need sections, we need prices, we need products, we need an add to cart button, we need a company all rights reserved. And not only that, do we need that, we need it in exactly this HTML, in exactly this way, using these kinds of attribute values. All of that in the document object model, all of that is a ranking factor. And my AI, it's not humanly possible to replicate. The AI has to look through tens of thousands of lines of code and then choose what is the vector, which is not what is average. It's a vector. It's different than an average. It's like an average. It's like a mean. It's like the median, but it's not. It's a vector. It's which of these widgets appear more as we start to approach spot number 1. As we are approaching spot number 1 on this graph, what is the HTML that is common to them, as opposed to the HTML that is common across all of them in the average? We don't want the average. We want the vector. That is what this does for you here. And it does it for you automatically, and it does it in a way that you don't need to worry about it. And that's it. That's all you need to worry about, your competitor keyword research. We have revolutionized keyword competitive research. We've removed it. You don't need to do it anymore. The AI does all of that for you. And there's no way you could compete with people who've been accruing signals that you're trying to rank against for 20 years in some cases by doing it by hand. There is no way. There is no way, right? If we could do it by hand, I wouldn't have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars of money and worked my ass off to build this tool if we could do it by hand. You have to use a tool to do it. I would have done other AI tools. I had other AI tools I wanted to build, not this. But we realized that SEO cannot exist properly unless you're doing this, unless you do this correctly. Okay, so the last piece we're going to talk about here is, okay, well, great. Well, we found the ranking opportunities and we build our pages. So just as Trey said, that's exactly what you need to do. Now we did our reports. Now we need to build our pages. So how do you do that? Well, under reports here, you can click the AI article button from here if you want to do it in bulk. So you're like, okay, I want to generate, let's generate this page. And I'll generate a whole bunch of pages, but it's going to give you some questions, right? So when I go to generate this page here, now you notice what it's doing for this particular keyword. It pulled in the query intent that the AI has detected and put it in here. Now, Can you add stuff to this? Yeah, you could add whatever you want in here. Or you can replace this thing completely and type whatever topic you want if you don't like what my AI says. But I don't recommend it. I recommend going with what the AI does because it's better than you at seeing what the intent usually should be. 99% of the time, this is going to be correct. The other thing the AI is doing is that it's matching the page type that you're supposed to be using. And if you keep this text in here, it'll use the page type that I showed you in the report. However, to the best of its ability. However, if you could paste in HTML in here, you could paste in instructions in here, you can do whatever you want in here. You could say, I want a full e-commerce page. I don't like the page type that you selected. I don't like ranking, and I don't like having an AI save me all that work and all that time. Okay, you can do whatever you want in there. Finally, what people usually want is they're like, Josh, it's going to write a generic article, and all AIs write a generic article. I don't want a generic article. I want an article on my particular product. Well, for that, we've invented the custom knowledge base. What you do is you click this and you choose a custom knowledge base. What does a custom knowledge base has? Well, our custom knowledge base is a whatever.txt file that has user-friendly, clear, comprehensive instructions on how to write it. Basically, it's a writing brief. It's exactly a writing brief. And but it can include your proprietary information. For example, these are not separate files. These are all one file, just so you know. So in the file, I have at the top, use this author profile. And I give it the real author profile with a real person with their real Twitter handle. And I could have put the URL in here and it would have made it a link. And then I say, write about this specific product. Don't just write me a generic product. I want you to write about this, our product. Presumably you want it to be your product. So this was for the EMQ CBD oil for cats. And I don't want just I wanted a CBD oil for cat page, but I want to sell my specific oil for cats, right? And so I made up a fictitious product called Ultra Pet TM oil for cats. I gave it a fictitious price, 4 stars, and the key points to cover. And it covered it perfectly. It put this in the tables perfectly. And then I said, use these testimonials with these ratings. This thing, I could have given it a link, and I should give it a link to wherever online I find this. And it should be my testimonial as well. I shouldn't be reusing testimonials, preferably. And here's another pro tip. My AI might make a placeholder in your content for a testimonial, but an AI-generated testimonial is an AI-generated review, even though it ranks perfectly fine. Actually, it does well. Google definitely likes to see testimonials, ratings, and reviews, but it works even better, and it is legally better if you have actual, I'm not a lawyer, can't give legal advice, but I'm just telling you, pro tip, the FTC has made it illegal to have an AI-generated review or rating or testimonial. So you need to have real testimonials. The AI can generate it, it just needs to copy it from a real testimonial, and I would recommend giving the link online where this comes from. So Google can confirm that it's, and anyone can confirm that it's a real testimonial. But it will use these, right? If this is in the HTML widgets, if it has widgets for testimonials, it will use them. And so that's how you add a custom knowledge base. You add it there. Then you say you can also do the URL, title, and meta description, and say go. And so you see it's analyzing from there. I can also do this one on divorce coaching, and it's going to do the benefits. It's going to do this, go. I could do this one here, alimony, go. I could do this one here, divorce papers, go. Now what I do is I go grab a beer. Now I go grab a beer and start thinking about other stuff while the AI is generating this and doing hundreds of hours of work all at the same time, way faster and way cheaper than I could get anyone on Upwork to do it. And it's going to be a way higher quality piece of writing than someone I would hire on Upwork to do this. No offense to people on Upwork, but you can't beat the AI. The AI is AI is how we do things now. We don't use a pen to write web pages. We use AI to write web pages. We don't do math in our hands. We use a calculator. In fact, we don't even use a calculator. We ask ChatGPT what it is, and then we try to check it in Google to make sure it's right. Okay, so it's writing all the content now. Now let me see if I can find an article. Let me see if I can find an article here. how to regenerate knee cartilage. Okay, this is actually somebody's page. I obviously pasted in for an audit, is what I did here. Let's fix this page though. So let's go here. Let's delete this. Let's go here. I can fix this page. It doesn't matter who generated this. I could fix this as if AI generated this. Join therapy, make an appointment. Okay, great. And then we have the footer information. There we go. Okay, so let's say for the sake of argument, this is the page that the AI generated. And this often happens, right? My high quality generator is quite good at generating content. We're in HQA 2.1 beta. We'll be upgrading to 3 in the next few months. We do a very good job, actually, of generating content, which is actually quite hard to do. This is it's not one AI doing this. This is a set of AIs, like a team, generating this content. It's a set of teams. It's teams within teams generating this content. And it takes a lot to get all of the SEO I's dotted and the T's crossed that you need to do. You need to make sure you have the right topic. You have to have the right HTML. You have to have the right information. You need to have the URL, title, and meta description done correctly. There are various ways of doing these things to make them non-spammy, right? There's different keywords for this than there are for this. There's different things you need to do here to make that non-spammy. You need to make sure you have the spread keywords. You need to be using all the right words enough, which this article is not. This article has missed a whole bunch of entities that are important. And you need to make sure all those entities are said here in the exact right frequency. You need to use the entities, these ones that are the highest scored, in a certain threshold of verbiage. And each SEO page doesn't have 3 SEO keywords or 1 SEO keyword. That's so 2014. Every SEO page, and for quite some time this has been true, it has nothing to do with AI. You just need to use AI to do it correctly. Every SEO page has, look at all these entities. It has hundreds of entities you need to have put in there in certain frequencies. The more you do this, the better you will do. The worse you do this, the worse you will do. There's no human way to do this, right? That's another thing that another secret that people don't get, that like me or not, fine. Like my AI or not, fine, I don't care. But no, understand this secret leak I'm telling you here, you cannot humanly do this, right? The AI needs to count these up and needs to start stuffing them in there like it's the biggest SEO stuffer ever stuffed. And the reason why this looks so bad is because a human wrote this. Look what they missed. Look at the important entities that are very highly scored. Look what they missed. Here they are listed here. And AI needs to do this for you. And an AI needs to make sure you're saying these phrase entities in the amount. You need to say these as well, which we're revamping this. We're going to add that also to this list here. We're going to remove these generic phrases and add these phrases and phrase entities that you need to have here as well. But anyway, I'm just trying to impress upon everybody how, again, like me or not, like my new haircut or not, doesn't matter. Like this AI and how it works or not, fine, I don't care. But you cannot do this by hand, right? And anyone who's like, yes, I can, you're going to fail very shortly. I'd be very worried. I'd be getting out of SEO. I'd be buying crypto, getting into pot stores, whatever. That's not going to work long term, right? Not when we outcompete you because we're getting an AI to do it more efficiently, putting in all the words in there, making sure you're saying everything the expert would have said, even more than an expert would think to say, saying what all the experts say, and the things that they can infer experts would say, even if no expert has ever said it anywhere. Yes, they do that. They can infer through AI what experts should say, even if no expert has said it, and boost the pages that say it. And the only way to know what that is to use AI like they do to analyze the topic. So that's what we're doing. The haircut is bugging me though. It does drive me effing insane. Maybe I'll just go to a simple haircut again. But okay, anyway, that has nothing to do with nothing. Okay, so all right, fine. So the last thing we need to cover, we need to make high quality AI content. And AI is doing all that for you. You're like, okay, Josh, great. Is the AI doing all this for us? Yes, it is. Do I have to worry about any of that shit you said? You only had to worry about it for the 5 seconds I said it and realize it's a thing. Now you can be like, oh, well, Josh's AI is doing that for me, so great. So good, because I want to rank off this too. I use this to rank. So this is what it does, and I want it to do more of the stuff I need to do. But the question now is, okay, Josh, great. I see that. I see you need this content, but you also said we needed high quality content. Well, how do I do that? And what does that mean? High quality in this context, I've taken all the subjectivity out. I've taken all the subjectivity out of what high quality content means, and I've done massive statistical data correlative analyses to find what is an objective measure of what high quality means. And EAT content, EEATT, experience, you need to be saying all the words that an experienced person would say, a person with expertise, what they would say, and the words they wouldn't but should. All the authority words, therefore you get the T, trust, and you're timely. You're talking about current information. That's how you rank and what you need to do. And the only way to do it cost effectively is an AI these days. But you need to get these scores in the green. This is the objective measure that I've created for key SEO scores. I've boiled all of the 50 on-page factors down into 4 easy scores to use. If I could get it down to 1 score, I'd get it down to 1 score. It's just that SEO is just too complicated to get it down to 1 score. Any tool that says it's 1 score, you should run away screaming. SEO is not that simple, right? It's like saying, oh, I can get all your health down to 1 metric. Ah, did you check for cancer? No, I didn't check for that. I just checked for your respiration. That's your respiration rate, your breathing rate. That is the only score in health that matters. You should run away screaming, right? Same thing with SEO. It is far too complicated to boil down to 1 score. We boiled it down to 4 scores is the easiest we can get it. And it's actually very simple to use, very easy. And there are 4 of these scores here. Now I'm going to quickly go through what they are, and then I'm going to show you how to fix them, okay? So the semantic score, what's the semantic score? Well, we talked about that. This is kind of like your keyword density. It's the score of the weight, the semantic weight of your words. This is SEO 101, always has been, always will be. And you can be under-optimized, which this is, which is why it's not ranking so great, or it can be over-optimized, which this isn't. And pro tip, you need to be within this range. So I'll show you how to do that in a second, very easily without having to rewrite anything, actually. Not by hand, anyway. And pro tip, you should not be under being, would you believe, and do you know that, being under-optimized is far worse than being over-optimized? Even in this day and age, and we laugh in SEO University, even in this day and age, where Google's like, oh, you shouldn't be optimizing anything. And people have actually said to me, SEO is over. You still have to do that? I'm like, no, you don't. And I'm like, what niches are you in? Great, now I can make all the money that you were making. It's worse to be under-optimized, despite everything that they say, all the white hats say about don't be over-optimized, but it's worse to be under-optimized than it is over-optimized. On this score here, you can actually be, share this screen, you can actually be a few points over this and you'll be perfectly fine. I could go up to 65 here and be perfectly fine. It still statistically correlates with #1 rankings. But this score here, after tens of thousands of records, this score here correlates very strongly with rankings. So do not disobey this score. This is the most important one to obey. The second most important score is all the spam scores and the predictability length. What's the predictability length? The average predictability length is the average number of word pieces or tokens you can use in a row, on average in a sentence. That would be the kind of tokens that the AI would generate. And what are the kind of tokens that the AI would generate? The kind of tokens the AI would generate would be business, basic, boring kind of writing. So this was written by a human. This was not AI generated. And look how high the score is. Again, it has nothing to do with really AI generated over human generated. It's not better just because it's human generated. In fact, in many cases, it's worse because they missed things. They didn't say things. They have their own biases and opinions. Google doesn't want your own bias. They want you to magically know how to talk about this like an expert and take the next level and say the very helpful shit. And only unless you are a 30-year expert in both doing this and in teaching it, you are not going to say the right stuff. You're not going to cover the right topics. Only the AI could possibly do this. So good, I have an A that'll do this for you. So what do I mean? Well, the way that AI breaks down words is into token pieces, which is like a 3-4 characters. So this would be one token, cart would be the next token, lidge would be the next token, one token, one token. So you're allowed, this one right now is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are this far, right? The actual frequency that you need to be on average per sentence is 4.13 is the actual. 4.13 is the actual. So you're actually allowed 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the amount of tokens you're allowed per sentence. And look how stringent we are. Like, this is not just like gross AI generated content. Look how stringent we are. You're allowed that much on average of what the AI would generate, or what a human would generate, or the prosaic kind of business boring writing that humans would generate. Because that's what an AI does, is it spits out prosaic, business basic, lowest common denominator writing, unless you have a bunch of agents that are going to, AI agents, which act like real writing agents and editors and are going to fix it. And that's what we do. It's not easy to do at all, right? It's easy to make this article look pretty with AI. It's difficult to make it actually rank good and be written and saying the things that it needs to say. It needs to be magazine quality in terms of the depth of research, but not in terms of the writing. We'll get to that eventually. So this and the spam score, the second most one that correlate with rankings the most. So here's the spam scores. It's not just one spam score. You can be spammy on multiple different areas. Your URL could be spammy. Your title could be spammy. Your description could be spammy. Your H1 could be spammy, or your body content could be spammy. And we have spam scores for all of these different areas. Diane says, this has been so insightful. Where are we going to find the recording of this? It'll be on YouTube, but the Ask Me Anything won't be on YouTube. Oscar says, thanks, I have to go. No worries, guys. Thanks for hanging in. You could join next time and ask me get any of those questions answered. But I'm very close to being done this. So this master course here. So, and this again is all how you get the AI overview, by doing all this on-page stuff here. This is exactly how I did it. I didn't do anything else other than stuff I'm showing you here, other than a couple little things which probably wouldn't make a difference. Okay, so the spam scores and the predictability length are the second most important of the SEO scores that you want to get into, get it working. The last one here is the heat score. The heat score is how helpful you are, your expertise, your experience. Are you, for example, is it an insightful analysis? Is it interesting? You know, a 7 is a passing grade. Does it provide substantial value? Is it well researched? Those kinds of things the AI is determining for you. This also correlates with rankings as well. Diane says, will you still be able to address starting a new site today? Yep, I will answer that. When I'm finished showing you this part, I will get back, that will be done for the day, and I'll get to answering the questions. So just bear with me for a couple more minutes here. Sorry, I make this as fast as I can. This is on page. This is as fast as I can do it. If you want something easier, go sell pot at a pot store. Okay. So great. So now we know why the SEO questions, now we know why the SEO scores are what they are and what I'm tracking. The question is, okay, great, Josh, how do I fix this? And again, this was written by a human, but I'm going to fix it like it was generated by the AI anyway, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. How do I fix this? Well, what you do to start fixing this usually depends on what's in the red, but typically the semantic score is either too low or too high, or the average predictability is too high. Those are usually the problems here on the right-hand side, and they're the biggest problems. So like I said, my AI does 90% of the work, 90% well, 90% of the time. You just need to finish this off and make sure that this is done correctly. So there's a way we do this. We use what I call the Marvel movie method of building muscle. Basically, we want to beef up everything from the top. We want to beef up everything from the top down to the bottom. And then we want to cut from the bottom to the top so that these numbers go way over what they're supposed to be. And then we cut from the bottom to the top and we bring these numbers down into the green where we need them to be. So how do we do that? Very easily. I already told you a whole bunch of ways we could do it. The easiest way is highlighting this and hitting the plus score button. Usually this will give you a whole bunch of more text. Often you can click it a whole bunch of times if you wanted to add more. Okay, it's still not adding a lot, so that's a great suggestion. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take this. Here's two things I can do. I can say, please add the top level ideas that would be the absolute most useful for the reader to read here. I'm going to highlight that suggestion. I'm going to add that suggestion and now try it and see if it'll do that for me. And boom. Now you see it generated a lot more content. Boom. Now we're going to go into knee pain categories. I'm going to upload this. I'm going to try it again. It's probably good. Why is this important? Add this here. Why is this important and relevant? And what can I do with this info? Add this here so I can just make it more useful. I put that in brackets. I highlight this. I say, add this. Boom. Now it adds more content. Now I say, now I add this one. Boom. Not a lot. Try it again. Not a lot. Try it again. Not a lot. Okay, here's another thing I can do. I take this, I highlight this, and I say, please add to this idea. Oops, I hit enter. I didn't mean to hit enter. Sometimes my fingers go fast over the keys. Okay, so if I don't want to wait for CP, I can come here to ChatGPT. How about that? And I can get 4.0 and say, please add to this idea. You can use it to do small things. And I'll go here. Go here and say, add in one para everything I need to know about this. Why is it important? What can I do to know this? Or after I know this, one paragraph. Or actually, I don't want to do one paragraph. One paragraph with lists or a table. There. I can go here as well. I could even do this, go here, and say CP is better to do it because it has the keywords in mind, and do it so that's adding the keywords. Now I'm going to go, okay, this shouldn't be done this way. This should be acute pain. Okay, boom. Take this. Boom, boom, boom. Come here. Boom. There we go. Thank you. Arthritis. Same deal, please. Boom. How'd they come out with it? Oh, they did the same thing. That's fine. CP will do it better because it has, again, the keywords built in. Okay. Take this. Put this here. Boom. Make this bold. And finally, overuse. Let it write that. Diane says, do the scores automatically update? No, they do not. We'll have to go and click the buttons. It's a lot of processing, so they can't automatically update. Make this bold. Take this. Boom. Boom. All right. Okay, now we come up here, save it, rerun this, rerun this. There we go. Boop, 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 boop. Rerun this, rerun this. There we are. You see the score even came down because my AI writing is better than the human writing. That was a basic thin content page, whether it was a human written or not. Okay, great. Now we're way over where we need to be. That's exactly what we wanted to do. Now what we want to do is come down to the very bottom, highlight this, and use the down score button. Now we want to start pulling all the scores out, down score it. It'll bring all these scores down using less text. Boom. Okay. Down score all that. There we go. Down score this. Okay, rerun these. See how it's going down now? Great. Now we start cutting down into what we added. Down score that. Down score this. Rerun this, rerun this. Starting to get in where we need to be. Down score this. Down score this. Save it. Rerun this, rerun this. This is fine where it is. And this one is now perfect, fine where it is. This can be a little bit over. This is only 0.05 over. This is only 3 over. That's fine. You can leave this alone. If you want to see green here, you can do it, but you can leave this alone. These are perfectly fine where they are. Now the only thing left I have to deal with is the spam score. One of them is red. Let's see why it is red. Let's go here and say, oh look, it's 60 of 72%. This is fine as well. You can leave this alone. This should actually be green, actually. This score should be in the green. Let me show you here. Auth main, this score should be in the green, as you can see here. 60% H1 spam score is fine here. You might be like, huh, why? How can that be? How to regenerate knee cartilage? Can you regenerate knee cartilage naturally? Those are different topics. This is a perfectly fine H1. It doesn't like it because it says it twice. That's why it doesn't like it. Remove the duplicate. Probably save this. Rerun this. That's probably why it was complaining. We'll see in a second. But basically, yep, there you go, fine. So now this is done. They're all in the green. This is fine. Refresh this. See, now we added most of it. Okay, so let's do this and say, give me a relevant sentence I can add with these words used in context and tell me where in the article to put it, given what you wrote. The next thing I need to do, so I can put that in there to make sure these are used. I have no idea how these are used. Joint tissues. Okay. Okay. So now what I do here is I go here, knee pain categories, arthritis, overuse, how to rebuild, okay, add this to this. Boom. So now it's going to add it in an expert way, speaking about it in an expert way, the way the expert should be talking about it. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. I can take this. Boom, boom, boom. This added a little bit. I don't want that bold. Fine, boom. This did add a little bit here. Save that. Rerun this. Did it go too high? No. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. So then that's added in here. Now we're saying it. Now we can go in here and we can refresh this. Boom. Done. So that's being said. So as you can imagine, the SEO needs to care about the SEO tab. We've been doing the SEO. Gives you all the stuff here. The last thing we need to do here, so if we were just building pages, yeah, so I have a bunch of other questions I have to get you. So I'm gonna end that there. So we got them all in the green or close enough. If we were just building pages, what I call targeted carpet bombing, just trying to fluff up the pages, let's say this is not one of their important ranking pages, or let's say we're doing our first pass of on-page stuff. To build the pages up, we would build them like this, make sure they're in the green or as close as possible. And I told you when and where you can go a little off the scores, but I wouldn't go too far off the scores. We could try ranking this. And then if there is some problems in an advanced course in Underground SEO University, I show you how to tweak certain things if there's any problems to make sure you squeeze everything out of it you can to get #1 rankings. But that's basically it. From doing the keyword discovery, finding the ranking opportunities you should be ranking for to begin with, building specifically reports on those queries specifically, those EMQs specifically, and then generating your content at fast enough, at a high enough quality, you're going to be competitive with everyone else. And that's how you're going to get both SEO ranking and ranking in the AI overview. Okay. So Diane says, I'm getting that the keyword is being used too much in the article. That's when I downscore, correct? Yes and no. There is some kind of after changes you can make to make sure. That's what I teach in the advanced course, is that usually the AI 90% of the time, 80% of the time gets all the keywords in the right spots that you need, just doing it naturally. Sometimes you need to go in and tweak it, and it can be the difference between page 2 and page 1. That advanced course, I've run out of time. I have your other questions to answer, and I have to give away the gifts. So join Underground SEO University, and we have the advanced course there to show you how you would tweak certain things. But to just very quickly show you what you would do, you go here to the report, onto the Rank Brain tab. You go here and you'd see which phrases are used most. Knee cartilage, cartilage regeneration, knee cartilage naturally, regenerate, and regenerate knee cartilage naturally. These are the main entities that are the secrets that are important to Google. And then you use these frequencies for the top 10, and you put these words into that frequency in these phrases. Basically is how you do it. Again, I would show you how to do it, but I'm running out of time here. I'll make sure I also have time to answer your questions. Okay, so let me get this in order. Let me get my brain working. So let's answer questions. So that's how you do the on page. That's how you go from 0 to hero. You can rank both in Google, and ranking in Google is going to rank you in the AI overview. There's a few other little tips and tricks you would do. You have to make sure that you're fresh. You have to make sure you're current. You have to make sure you're got a high quality article. You're wording it in the right way. You have to think of the context of the information. So my final tip for making sure you're ranking in the AI overview, let me show you this here. And I say to my my students, burn this into your brain. This specific text here is how we got into the AI overview for kitchen remodeling Granite Bay. This specific information, and look at this information, and look at it. It's not very SEO'd, right? Kitchen remodeling is a transformative project that can elevate both the functionality and aesthetic appeal of your home. Our team of professional designers and contractors at our company understands the importance of creating space. When it comes to a full kitchen remodel, homeowners in Granite Bay can expect to invest this amount. We need to have this kind of data. It has to be accurate, and it has to be said in a non-spammy SEO way. That is the kind of difference between the content that is going to get you. You could still get very high in Google doing the kind of AI content that you wouldn't believe how much stuffing we can still do and should still do. But it's that kind of content with, you need the right data. It has to be accurate. You need the right facts. It needs to be in the right frequency. And it needs to have it's just like the knowledge snippet, quite frankly. It's like the featured snippet. You need to be saying what the information is. This is how it works. This is the information. In a very non-SEO, like the sentence shouldn't sound like this to get into the AI overview. You shouldn't be saying, if you want the best red apples, we have the best red apples at Josh's Red Apples. If you like red apples, click our red apples. We'll give you red apples, red apples. You shouldn't be stuffing the keywords in there like that too much. Not for the AI overview. So it's an interesting balance that the AI pretty much does for you automatically of getting the right keywords in there and the right frequency, but not too much, too condensed in one single spot, that is giving the specific answer that the AI overview, just like the feature snippet, is looking for. So that's the important thing. So I can go into a much bigger degree on how to do that, how you would play with that in Underground SEO University, or I'm happy to answer questions now. So let's do that. So let's wrap this up. What questions do you guys got? Ask me any questions that you have here. Let me check on the YouTube. Do you guys have any questions on the YouTubes? If you guys have any questions on the YouTubes, please go ahead and ask. And if you have any public questions you want me to answer, please go ahead and ask them in the Zoom now. And what I'm going to do is, otherwise I have a whole bunch of questions to get to in the Ask Me Anything section that I'll do privately for you guys in a second. However, before that, I have to do the draw and I have to do the gifts. So let's do the draw and the gifts. Okay, so for the draw, what we have here is, we have, where is it? We have Scott Walker, we have Anika Weber for the draw, and we have also Trey, and we have Ryan. So we have 4 people. And I will automatically generate a number between 1 and 4 using a Dungeon and Dragon dice. We're really high tech here. And the answer is 4. 4 points of dagger damage. So that's Trey. Trey, you're number 4. So Trey Collier is the Collier. Trey Collier is the or Collier in the French is the winner. Congratulations, my friend. See, that's what I rolled. I'm not lying. 4. 4. You see that? Thank you, my friends. So Diane asks, how were we supposed to get in the draw? I sent 2 separate messages with huge bold text with yellow that said, reply yes to this message to get put into the draw. So that's how you get in the draw, Diane. But if you need any SEO help, you can always email me. I'm more than happy to help you along with a couple of things. Trey Collier says 4, yippee, woohoo! Congratulations. I give you a whole bunch of emojis. Diane says, gotcha. But you can do it next time. I do it every week, so don't worry about it. She says, congrats, Trey. Congrats, Trey. Okay, so Trey, let me know. Email me what site you want me to focus on, or if you want to do more of a consulting call and get on a Zoom and pick my brain, let me know, and we can get you 30 years of experience help. I guarantee I can turn your SEO around. I can fix any problem. I can answer any SEO question. I dare you all now to ask me an SEO question you think I won't be able to answer. I bet you I can come up with an answer, and I bet you it'll be even an educated answer based on some considerable data. All right, next, let me give out the gifts. So the gifts I have for you guys is free SEO Copilot licenses and or huge discounts on Underground SEO University. You have SEO problems, I've got the solution. You have the money you want to pay per month, I have the solution. Tell me the money you want to pay per month, and if I can make it work, I'll make it work. So to get these deals, email me at joshbachynski@gmail.com this coupon code, and I'm sharing it with these guys now, and I will add you to SEO University and or SEO Copilot, and I will tell you how to get the huge discounts that I have available. So that is for the people here in the Zoom, and they can get first crack at that. As promised, membership has the privileges. If you want to get added to this, go to SEOCopilotai.com, go to resources, sign up for the training, come to the training, reply yes before the training out of the multiple emails I'll send you, and then be here, wait to the end, and I will do the same thing next week and the week after and the week after. Well, not all the weeks. I'm going to take some Fridays off. I might do it twice a week. I might bring that down to once a month. We'll see. Okay. So that's it, guys. If there's any more questions, I don't see any questions on the YouTube. There's 7 people watching here. Guys, if you have any questions, fire them in there. Whatever questions you got, and I'll try to answer them as quick as possible. Let me listen to see how far back this is. How many seconds is this back? Try to stump me. Yeah, it's about 8 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds behind me. So if you got any question, I see 8 people are watching now. What kind of questions you guys got? Let me know. Otherwise, I've given everyone here on the Zoom a good chance to email me first. Now I will share it here in the TubeViews. So if you want to get huge discounts to SEO University or SEO Copilot, email me at joshbachynski@gmail.com and use the coupon code AddMeNow. Say add me now all over the place, and I will get you the coupon discounts, and I will add you. Any other questions there, guys? I don't see any final questions, so thanks very much. All right, guys. So that's it for today. Now, as promised, I'm going to turn off this YouTube broadcast, and I'm going to answer all the slew of questions. We got a whole bunch of great questions for the SEO Ask Me Anything. If you want to be added to the next SEO Ask Me Anything, again, join the Zoom, go to SEOCopilotai.com, click on resources, sign up for one of these things, and attend it. And you can ask me anything too. But if you have any specific questions, if you're having trouble with your site, if you're having trouble ranking, just email me. I'd be happy to help you out. I have no problem giving you a 5-minute SEO answer. I'm not going to bill you for 5 minutes of consultation. And I can quite literally save businesses in 5 minutes. So email me if you have any trouble at all. I'd be happy to help out. All right, guys. And with that, I hope you have a great weekend. Everyone in the Zoom, stay here. I'm going to answer your questions in a second. Everyone on YouTube, thanks, guys, very much. See you later. Oh, hold on. There is a question. Jacob says, hi, Josh. To add content to a specific page, is it best to add existing sections or add new sections? I ask in terms of disturbing HTML widgets. That's a great question, Jacob. The answer is both. As you saw, or I don't know if you were here, but when I was editing the page here to get it in the right numbers that I want to get it, I edited those. It doesn't matter how much more text you add to a paragraph tag, as long as it's nested in the right divs and main and section tags that your niche is using, and has the right attributes. It has the Elementor shit spread all over the place if everyone's using Elementor in the top 1,000, and if that vector is to spot number 1, it's not the top 10, it's not the average, it's the vector of the 1,000. Or doesn't have it. If only one person's using Elementor and no one else has it, then that's going to derank you. So that doesn't really come into play when you're adding content. I don't necessarily, you can add sections. You would add sections if you're like, I don't have these helpful sections, I should add them, like a pros and cons section is really good. Identifying key decision-making factors is really good. So if you don't have those kinds of sections, you should probably add them. But otherwise, you're just adding text to existing sections, and that can work perfectly fine. You can add a table anywhere you want. Tables always boost if they have the right data. Doesn't matter if people are using them. there's another secret pro tip that we've scientifically proven tables boost if they have the right data. If you're saying the prices are totally different than everybody else, Google will try you to see if people like it, like that price. You better be ready to answer that question and have your conversion rate optimization, your CRO better be on point. Because Google's only going to try you a couple times before they give up on you. And they're like, we're not trying this guy again for a very long time. We've tried them 3 times to answer questions, hasn't done well, not going to try you again for quite some time. So it's crucially important to do the right keyword discovery at the beginning so that you are setting yourself up for success on the right searches. That is 70% of success right there. So if you forget anything else I've said today, remember, you have to find the correct ranking opportunities or you're going to be in a world of hurt, as he said in The Predator. Okay. Or the movie Predator, not The Predator. That's a different movie. Okay. Anika says, thanks so much. You're welcome. All right. So guys, you stay here. I'm going to, thanks Jacob for asking on YouTube. Make sure you like and share and subscribe this to all your friends who need help ranking these days. And I'm going to turn this off now. I'm going to do the SEO Ask Me Anything. We're going to have a crazy session. It's going to be amazing with your guys' questions. Hold on. You guys, we'll see you next time. Email me if you have any further questions.